Coming up next on NFL Primetime, Dick Vermeil finally gets what he wanted. The kiss always came after the game. This was the sweetest kiss in Kurt Warner's year and the sweetest game in the history of the Rams franchise. Welcome to the Georgia Dome for Super Bowl XXXIV. I am so hoarse, only because it was such a great game. NFL Primetime. Stuart Scott with you alongside Tom Jackson and Jim Kelly. You are looking at a live shot of inside of the Georgia Dome. There are still people partying in the stands and partying on the field. Guys, you know, we hear a lot, well, this was the greatest Super Bowl game in history. 23-16, the final score, does not begin to tell what kind of game this was.
Well, Stu, it certainly ranks up there. You're talking about a game that at halftime looked a little bit boring, but by the time we got to the finish, we knew it was a great game. And maybe, you know, I don't know the greatest game ever played in the Super Bowl, but certainly ranks right up there, Jim.
Well, I've been in a few good games before. Not too many, but I'll tell you what, this one came down to both quarterbacks making the play. Kurt Warner, both quarterbacks on the other side of football. You have to look at McNair, what he was able to do running the football. Never give up attitude is what made me all pumped up down here watching the game.
You know, we call it the Rams a Cinderella story, but both teams really, for the first time ever in the Super Bowl, two quarterbacks who played at small colleges went at each other, and they went at each other. Let's take a look at the highlight. Kurt Warner played his college ball at Northern Iowa. Steve McNair, Alcorn State. Rams' first play from scrimmage, almost deja vu from the NFC title game last week. Batted by Josh Evans. Fred Miller gets the catch. Miller can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Rams got into field goal range, but Mike Horan couldn't get the hold down. Jeff Fisher liked it. The Titans take over. On the Titans' first drive, Steve McNair, screen pass to Eddie George. E.G. was on it, 32 yards. Only the second completion over 15 yards in the postseason for the Titans. Titans get into field goal position. Al Del Greco, scratch golfer, but he misses. Wide left, 47 yards. Both teams had early chances, couldn't convert. And then the Rams take over. Kurt Warner vibing with his rookie, Torrey Holt out of North Carolina State, 32 yards. Next play, TJ, what happens here with Kurt?
Well, look at the pocket presence of Kurt Warner. He steps up in front of the pressure, throws a dart to Marshall Faulk right there going down inside the 15-yard line.
That set up a Wilkins field goal that he hit 3-0 Rams. Javon Curse on Titans D. Warner, a wide-open Faulk down the sideline. Faulk only 5 receiving yards last week, 52 yards, and Ard Walker finally knocked him out. JK, what happened?
Both linebackers sucked in on the inside, leaving Kurt Warner, the most explosive running back in the NFL, right there wide open.
Wilkins missed a field goal wide right. 3 trips into the red zone. The first 3 times they had the ball, they only came away with 3 points. Warner, though, on a roll. Slant to the Pro Bowler, Isaac Bruce, the Reverend Bruce. Warner to Holt, first down. Warner, he completed 7 passes to 6 different receivers in the first quarter. Second 10 from Titan 11. Warner to Holt. Blaine Bishop broke it up at the last second. TJ, Kurt was on fire throwing nearly every play in the first quarter.
And still, just look at the accuracy of a couple of these throws to the sideline right there. He goes again. These are deep outs and little quick slants, but he's right on target with the throws. He's putting the ball on the numbers.
Second and 14. Kurt Warner scrambling. Here comes the freak. He walked him down, but he pulled his face mask. Personal foul. The Rams, though, stall again. Wilkins kicks the short field goal. 9-0 Rams. Kurt Warner first half, 277 yards passing, but only 9 points. Third quarter, Titans get the ball first. And Eddie George, no wonder why he's gained 1,200 yards at least his first 4 years in the league. But the Titans forced to try a field goal. Todd Light, a Pro Bowler, why? There you go. Play a Hayden Del Greco, still 9-0 Rams. As for Kurt Warner, remember what he was doing in the first half? Picking it up. Deep over the middle, getting his vibe with Isaac Bruce, 32 yards. Next play, Warner hits Ernie Conwell. Watch Blaine Bishop makes the hit. And the former 3-time Pro Bowler motionless on the turf. Take another look at it, TJ. What happens here?
Well, you see the compression as Blaine Bishop comes in from the outside. He leans in with his shoulder, but he ends up hitting head first right there. And what a scary moment this was for everybody here in the stadium.
Even the Ram players lined up very close to Bishop until he was carried off the field. And from there, Torrey Holt, the rookie, 7 catches on the day, first touchdown of the game. Watch it again.
Well, the key there, look at the pressure that was in Kurt Warner's face, and yet look where he delivered the football, right on Holt's hands.
Titans don't finally get it going. Down 16-0. Steve McNair. He didn't gain more all-purpose yards than anybody in NCAA history for nothing. Down to the 2. Eddie George led the team in rushing touchdowns in the regular season. Pounds it in. 16-6 Rams. 2-point conversion failed. Titans next possession, 4th and inches. McNair tries to draw. Rams offsides. Then sneaks for the first down. The freak signals first down. Same drive. McNair didn't go to his wideouts very often, but when he did, there to Isaac Byrd, it worked for 21 yards. Then McNair rolling out. Dangerous pass across the field, but Jackie Harris rumbles inside the 5. Dick Vermeil, will he let his second Super Bowl trip slip away like the first one? 2nd and goal, Eddie George. Second touchdown of the game. 16-13 Rams. But J.K., did his knee hit the ground before he crossed the plane?
I'll tell you what, it almost looks like his knee is down right before the touchdown, but of course, the Rams didn't even take a chance in the challenge. Right there. Ooh, close.
After that touchdown, Rams went 3 and out, and here come the Titans again. McNair scrambling, 6'3", 245. They have 2 running backs back in the backfield. Then McNair to Harris again. Likes throwing to his tight end. Harris fumbles, but Isaac Byrd recovers for Tennessee. That sets up Al Del Greco for the tie. And it is good, right down the middle, 16-16. There's never been an overtime in Super Bowl history. Kurt Warner having a quiet second half. Fisher's team bearing down. First play of the Rams' next drive. Warner gets rocked as he throws it. He threw it short because the curse hit him. Isaac Bruce picked it up, and Bruce is gone. 7th longest play in Super Bowl history. And on that play, Warner becomes the first 400-yard passer in Super Bowl history. 23-16 Rams. Titans need to tie. J.K., how's McNair going to try and drive him down the field?
Tell you what, one thing you like about Steve McNair, I said before, the never-give-up attitude. And this is something that was probably their biggest threat, was him running the ball, not throwing the ball.
McNair to Dyson. And then McNair almost picked off by Dre Bly. Good thing for Bly didn't, because it was offsides in the Rams. Vermeil can't believe it. He said he's more calm. You didn't show on that play. 3rd and 5, 22 seconds. Watch this play. McNair starts to run, doesn't. You got 2 guys who weigh almost a combined 500 pounds. McNair throws both of them off and somehow finds Kevin Dyson down to the 10-yard line. TJ, how?
Well, you just enjoy the athleticism. Look at McNair. He's great balance right there. Great strength pulling away from Kevin Carter in that group of 2 right there, and then throwing a dart down the football field. And I think people really underestimate, Stu, his arm strength.
Hold your breath. 6 seconds left to play. Kevin Dyson stopped short. Time expires. Rams win. Dick Vermeil gets his first Super Bowl. The Rams franchise gets their first Super Bowl. Look at the last play. Dyson had the ball in the seam. Mike Jones brought him down short. TJ.
In and out coverage here. Mike Jones had the inside receiver. Whoever he was did a great job of playing in front of the goal line. No good playing in the end zone. Great job, world champs, Rams.
You saw the frustration of Steve McNair, the utter joy of Kurt Warner, and the Rams beat the Titans 23-16. Rams' first NFL championship since 1951. In this game, the Titans came back from a 16-0 deficit. Isaac Bruce, 8 catches, $162, including that game-winning touchdown. Torrey Holt, 7 grabs, 109 yards. Eddie George and Steve McNair, great games. McNair, 214 yards passing, 64 rushing, not enough. Kurt Warner completed passes to 9 different receivers, which ties an NFL Super Bowl record. After the game, Marcellin and Wilcox caught up with a very emotional Isaac Bruce.
You guys came out on offense slugging, very aggressive as opposed to the NFC Championship game. It's tied up 16-16. You guys go right up tight right away. What were the thoughts?
Well, I told everyone before the season started that Mike Martz, he's the type of coach that he will go for your throat from the first to the fourth quarter. So we didn't want to sit on the top. We didn't want to go into overtime. We wanted to win it in regulation.
Talk about the tackle made by Mike Jones on that very last play. The offense just had to turn it over to the defense and let them win it for a change.
Hey, again, they've done the same thing. That defense has been playing great all week. I've never been a defensive player, but that was the best defensive player I've ever seen.
Isaac Bruce, home run hitter in the big game. Let's send it back to you.
Thanks, Sal. It was a season of parity. 4 teams won 13 games in the regular season. 2 of those teams ended up here. You cannot ask for a better Super Bowl or a better season. Both coaches, very different but very interesting.
Well, Stu, I thought they both knew their team so well. You think about the Rams, you see a team that wanted to be explosive at the beginning of the game. Now, they had trouble sticking the ball in, but they got out in front early. That's what they wanted to do. Jeff Fisher wanted his team to stay close enough to have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. They had that chance. It took a great play by the Rams on the goal line to seal the win. So, you know, what a job. We always say, know your personnel. These 2 guys do.
That's for sure. I mean, the Rams came into this game wanting to open it up. Kurt Warner told me earlier in the week that this is a game where we cannot afford to do what we did last week. Get a little bit behind and all of a sudden start pressing. Kurt Warner came in and did exactly what he wanted to do early in the football game. The big problem, though, inside the red area where the game is won and lost. First 0 for 12. His big touchdown, making it 1 for 13 inside the red area. But Tennessee, playing that physical style football, they came in here, did what they wanted to do. And I'll tell you one thing, the fans, everybody in the whole world got their money's worth today.
Yeah, Kurt Warner didn't have his best game of the season, even though he passed for 414. But you can say that
good one.
You can say it was his grittiest. It was his grittiest game. 414 yards, 6th best in postseason history. It was his 11th 300-yard game this year, including the playoffs in 1999. And when you sit on top of Joe Montana and the likes of John Elway and Doug Williams, I think that's saying a whole lot. Kurt Warner, the Super Bowl most valuable player.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the official card of the NFL. Log on to ESPN.com for more Inside the Numbers.
When NFL Primetime comes back, we'll hear more from the Super Bowl champions, break down how they did it, and hear from the losers. Although you really can't call the Titans losers in this one. We're back.
It's coming, allergy season, and if you suffer like I do, you can stay indoors and miss all this, or talk to your doctor about Claritin. Just 1 tablet brings 24 hours of non-drowsy relief from seasonal allergy symptoms.
Claritin has a low occurrence of side effects such as headache, drowsiness, fatigue, and dry mouth. All were similar to sugar pill.
You can't control allergy season, but with Claritin, you can help control what allergy season does to you.
Watch the knee, man.
Look out, Doug! Yo, what you doing? Hey!
You're mine.
I had fun.
That's how I'll call you.
Yeah, okay.
Well. Hey. Next time I'll remember to bring enough cash for both of us.
Next time, use the Visa check card instead of cash. It's fast, easy, and accepted everywhere Visa is, so you can get what you need and get on with life.
This special Super Bowl edition of NFL Primetime is brought to you by Claritin.
Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Eddie George, you know, we've talked all week about the fact that sometimes he doesn't run quite as hard as he should. Tiptoes, then he hits the hole. 130 yards from scrimmage, rushing and receiving. Eddie George ran hard the entire game, but obviously very disappointed after the loss.
Oh, it was a hell of a ride. It was one hell of a ride, man, from the game in Buffalo to the game in Indianapolis to beating Jacksonville twice, 3 times to get here. You know, it was one hell of a ride, and it's always going to be special to me, you know. We just fell short. You know, we just didn't make enough plays to win it. That's just the bottom line. Any play that we called was for Dyson. Like I said, the linebacker made a great play. It was a one-on-one. It was just a matter of him breaking the tackle and getting in the end zone. And to come that close and not make it, it's disappointing. But like I said, this is a game of emotions, and they had a class act stance on that play.
I've never seen a team grow as much, I think, over the course of one season as much as this team has. Going from a team that was wondering maybe if it could compete in this league to a team that obviously, without a doubt, is one of the two best teams in the league this year. And, this team has a great future ahead of it.
Couldn't have said it better. Truly were the two best teams in the NFL this year, obviously. St. Louis Rams made it to the Super Bowl on a late fourth quarter touchdown pass from Kurt Warner to Ricky Proehl. They do it again in the Super Bowl, late fourth quarter touchdown pass, Warner to Isaac Bruce. J.K., run through that play.
A lot of times teams put into their game plan throws that if a defensive back is ahead of the receiver, it'll underthrow. This particular play, Kurt Warner is pressured, not only from up the middle, but from the outside. He throws up, wasn't able to follow through. The ball is thrown short. Defensive back looks back for it. Boom. Isaac Bruce slows down, catches it. Rest is history. And nobody's going to catch him once he gets to the outside and cuts back to the inside.
Well, Jim, the thing that I'm struck by is the courage that he showed on that play, and I think it's certainly a microcosm of what he showed us throughout the season and especially through the playoffs. He knew he was going to get that pressure from Javon Curse. He knew he had to make a throw. And I think when you look at the situation, we're standing there on the football field wondering, will they kill the clock? Will they settle for going into OT? No, he's going to take that big shot downfield. So they stayed with what got them here.
And we were wondering that because emotionally the momentum had shifted way over to the side of the Tennessee Titans. The last two times the Rams had the ball, they had gone 3 and out. They thought maybe we just regroup, run the ball. Kurt Warner, that gunslinger attitude. I know another gunslinger guy who used to play quarterback here in the Super Bowl. Isaac Bruce. Speaking of being on a list with some greats, Isaac Bruce, 162 receiving yards, third best in Super Bowl history. Of course, the all-time leader. Ask the Cincinnati Bengals about Jerry Rice, 215 yards back in Super Bowl XXIII. When we get back, we'll talk about Steve McNair. He had the longest run for a quarterback in Super Bowl history in this game. Made some absolutely fat plays. We're coming back.
Bob Sura. Andrew to Brevin Knight. Brevin pulls up 15-footer. Good! Lamont Murray to unload a 3. Ring it up! And Brevin Knight fading and filling up the jumper at the buzzer.
Sit silent and listen to how long 8 seconds is. Longer than you thought? Now imagine that same 8 seconds strapped to a 2,000-pound bull with an attitude.
Don't miss the PBR Bud Light Cup presented by Las Vegas. Coming to Cleveland February 11th and 12th at 8 p.m. at the CSU Convocation Center. Come ride the rage.
2000 ESPY Awards will honor the top plays and players of 1999 and also celebrate the greatest performers of the past decade. Check out SportsCenter every night for a preview of the ESPYs. Then hit ESPN.com for a full slate of the nominees. See how your picks stack up against ESPN's when the awards are televised live from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on February 14th. Watch SportsCenter and log on to ESPN.com. Viva las ESPYs!
The stat sheet says Steve McNair, 8 rushes, 64 yards. But, TJ, you were saying there's no way that you can defend against that.
Well, I thought that the Rams did a pretty good job in the first half, and it was 2 distinctly different halves. If you watch Steve McNair in the first half of the football game, the Rams were able to contain him. They were able to keep him from making those big plays downfield. I thought they did a great job of bringing pressure up the middle and forcing him to do things like this, make throws on the move. His athleticism scares you as a defense because, as you said, Stu, you can't account for it. A couple of throws off. When we got into the second half and he had to make plays, and this is maybe the best scrambling play or as good a scrambling play as I've ever seen by a quarterback in a game, he forced the DBs to give up on the play. He ended up with a play that ended up putting them down there where they had a chance at least to win the football game. And he's only going to get better.
Oh, there's no doubt about him. He's still young. I mean, you look at some of the plays he made, almost remind me of Randall Cunningham and some of the things he was able to do. But I look at Steve McNair. Yeah, he was off early in the game, but what he's able to do running the football, at times I watched him go from his first to his second receiver, but more importantly, once his first guy was covered, he was able to make things happen in the second half that some of the other players will never be able to do. His athletic ability was a difference in the second half for the Tennessee Titans.
You guys remember the Music City Miracle? Frank White to Kevin Dyson.
Yes, I remember.
Kevin Dyson was the guy who caught that pass lateral, and then ran it down for the touchdown. Dyson almost had his second Music City Miracle, landed at the 1-yard line. He did, though, spend some time with our Susie Culver afterwards.
Kevin, that final drive, you were so clutch. I mean, so close, but just not enough.
Man, that's just a sickening feeling. Whole life, I've never been close like that. I've always been the one to get it done, but, building block for next year.
Could you feel him right on you? Did you think you had it?
I thought I had it. As soon as I called it, I seen yellow. Thought I was in there. I didn't know where he came from. We worked on that play in practice, and it happened just like we wanted to. He made a great play.
That last drive you were moving, did you think you had it? Everything was in rhythm.
Man, we never doubted it anyway. And any time we thought we was going down there and get it done. We've been getting it done all year long like that. And, he made a great play, man. It just comes like that sometimes.
Kevin, thanks. Let's go back to you.
Kevin Dyson, 4 catches, 41 yards in the game. Both of you guys know what it feels like to lose a Super Bowl. Jim, you know what it feels like to lose a very, very close one on the last play that doesn't quite go the way that you want it to. What are the Titans feeling right now?
Right now, they're very down, of course, as everybody would expect. But I'll tell you what, you look at what the Tennessee Titans are going to have to do. They're going to have to regroup and think of what it took to get to this point. The resiliency that they're going to have to show in the offseason is going to be the key, whether they continue and come back next year.
I think this is a tougher loss for a team to take in a Super Bowl because they ended up so close to at least having a chance to win the game. And, any appreciation that you have for losing a Super Bowl is gained way after tonight. You don't feel it tonight.
Yeah, this is the 9th Super Bowl decided by 7 or fewer points, but the second one in the past 3 years. So people used to say that Super Bowls were one-sided affairs and very boring. Take that. When we come back, we will have more from the Georgia Dome and the celebration of the St. Louis Rams world champions. We're back.
New experiences just have to be shared, and there's no better way than dialing 10-10-3-2-1.
I took to it like a duck to water.
With 10-10-3-2-1, it's just 8 cents a minute on calls over 10 minutes, day or night, with no monthly fee.
It was so much fun, I couldn't stop.
And at 8 cents a minute, you can keep on talking.
In no time, I was whipping around that ring.
Talk as long as you want with 10-10-3-2-1.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm, and we have a few cows. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, lawnmower, and a little old boat. Got Everstart batteries in every one of them, except my cow. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
Everstart, all the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
Don't matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
Everstart, the name says it all.
My advice is to go to Walmart and get you an Everstart. Get on down the road.
We were driven to bring back the cup, and we had the support of the people back home. But we were not back home.
Must follow.
We're headed for the rocks! It's the sirens! Cover your ears, sailor! Good!
So beautiful, so dangerous. Much like the ships we'd have to beat in the cup races ahead.
Hi, I'm Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. The NFL and the United Way learned firsthand that your support of the United Way can help the people that truly need your help. Over the years, the hundreds of NFL owners, coaches, and players have volunteered their time to work with United Way agencies and programs that show our caring for people. By working together, the NFL and the United Way are making a difference. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
The The skyline of Atlanta, Georgia hasn't been very hot this week with all the chill in the air, but you're talking about one hot Super Bowl. The St. Louis Rams deny the AFC 3 straight NFL championships.
It's a dream come true. I mean, you know, you start playing football as a little kid, and you talk about, oh, this is the Super Bowl, and you're out there making moves and playing around with your friends, and to wake up this morning and, you know, go through the whole routine and catch the bus over here and walk out on that field and say, this is the Super Bowl right here. I mean, it was great.
You know, it's one of those things that every football player that plays this game dreams of, and we're here, we got it done, and, you know, we got to make the most of it and cherish the moment.
Well, I think that one of the things that they did, Stu, as we talk about this game, is that the Rams did a great job offensively. Offensive line of creating space for the running back, of doing a great job of blocking for Kurt Warner. Consider the fact that they spread the receivers out. That meant all the pressure was on that front five to get the job done. I thought they did a great job of clawing and fighting until emotion started to give the Titans a chance to turn the tide at the end of the game.
Well, they did, and I think the key that I saw was what Kurt Warner was able to do. He's spreading the football around. I think one point during the course of the ball game, he threw to 8 different receivers. He kept the defensive secondary off guard. You had times you saw him go deep, trying to loosen them up a little bit. Marshall Faulk became a big, pivotal part in that offense, you know, early in the game.
Kurt Warner, the 18th quarterback to win a Super Bowl MVP, but the first player since 1994 who was the Super Bowl MVP and the regular season MVP. Steve Young was that. Our game balls when we come back. Stay with us.
Rima Ambrelos.
How did UPS become the official express delivery sponsor of the NFL? Well, let's just say they put us through a very challenging drill. For the earliest next day delivery, count on the same people the NFL does. UPS.
This is Rich Eisen. Later on SportsCenter, Dan, Sterling, and Jaws put their unique spin on our continuing Super Bowl post-game coverage. We'll have our Sunday conversation from the big game, and MJ has a new coach. Join us for SportsCenter after primetime.
NFL primetime players, my game ball goes to the rookie Torrey Holt out of North Carolina State. 7 catches, 109 yards, most yards receiving ever by a rookie in NFL Super Bowl history.
Well, my game ball goes to Kurt Warner. I mean, what more can you do as a quarterback? Under pressure, came through, came up with a big play at the end of the game when they needed it.
Jim, I guess they had a pretty good day throwing the ball, because my game ball goes to Isaac Bruce, the opposite receiver, 6 receptions, 162 yards, and the biggest catch of his professional life, a touchdown that wins the Super Bowl, Stu.
And I think we should give a nice game ball to the Tennessee Titans, because they played one heck of a ball game.
Well, that's for sure. If I had to give another one away, probably that whole offensive line. I realize how important those guys are, buddy.
When we come back, our final thoughts on Super Bowl 34. Rams win it 23-16. We're coming back to the Georgia Dome.
Today's Sports Century Classic Moment is brought to you by MasterCard.
Magic Johnson had the rug pulled out from under him by a disease where we didn't have full information. As the years went by, it's only natural for him to say, wait a minute. Maybe what I thought was true before isn't really true. Why can't I play?
Warm-ups are coming on, and Magic Johnson returns to the NBA. Elevator to lobby. By George.
Contacts, $320. Treadmill, $800. Wonder Bra, $26. Facelift, $3,000. Being happy with who you are, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Happily accepted most everywhere.
Former college running back Mike Jones, now linebacker, makes the game-saving tackle.
Thank you. We was in a combination coverage, and we had a safety and myself and the cornerback doubling 3-on-2 on a tight end and a wide receiver. Both those guys released upfield, and I had to stay inside. Whoever was the first guy to go inside, I had to get him. The wide receiver didn't see me. I went inside. I was inside the tight end. When he planted, I planted right along with him. I seen him get rid of the ball. We came up, made a tackle, and we won the game.
What's on your mind?
Franchises that have never been to the Super Bowl against franchises that have been are now 2-12 in Super Bowl history. Guys, final thoughts. What do you think?
Stu, has there ever been a better story than the Rams? Kurt Warner coming from the Arena League, MVP of the season, MVP of the Super Bowl, a team that won 4 games last year. This gives hope to everybody, Jim. You can be here and win.
There's no doubt about it. I look at the other side. I look at Tennessee, what they're going to have to go through during this offseason. It's what they have to do to prepare to get ready and see if they can make it back here next year.
The Rams franchise, they've now won a world championship in Cleveland in 1945. They won a world championship in Los Angeles in 1951, and they won a world championship in St. Louis in 1999. For Jim Kelly, Tom Jackson, our entire Primetime crew, I'm Stuart Scott. We'll see you.
Sights are set on one glittering goal, the chance to play and win in the Super Bowl.
Hey there, and welcome to this Super Bowl edition of Sports Center. Holding down the fort here in our ESPN studios, I am Rich Eisen, and this is like the old McNeil-Lehrer News Hour. Rich Eisen in Bristol, and Dan Patrick is in Atlanta.
Well, or Huntley and Brinkley if you want to, Rich. After you do the honors of showing the highlights of Super Bowl 34, Sterling Sharp and Ron Jaworski will join me here in Atlanta to provide the blowout the budget coverage, including post-game reaction from both the Rams and the Titans.
So we will be rejoining you in a moment, Dan. First, let us review what happened in Super Bowl 34. Rams' first Super Bowl in 20 years. As for the Titans...
And you know the dealio. 1, 2, 3, dominate!
Blaine Bishop firing up the Titans. The dealio is this. First Rams possession. 27-yard field goal attempt for Jeff Wilkins. The snap dropped by Mike Horan. No points for the Rams. First Titans drive ends with a field goal attempt. Same result. In the fact, no points. Aldo Greco's 47-yard field goal wide left. Later in the first quarter, Kurt Warner fading back. Finds Torrey Holt across the middle. 32 yards. That would set up a 27-yard field goal for Wilkins. This time the kick is good. We have points, 3-0 Rams. Titans looking to continue to clamp down Javon Curse. Can't get to Kurt Warner in time, but Torrey Holt can't hold on to the catch for Dick Vermeil's bunch. And receivers coach Al Saunders saying, yeah, this is what you got to do.